Hey, I'm Judy, and this is day two of me running away. Um, One of the things that I've learned since I ran away is that I am not the only adult. I guess I always knew that adults think of running away, and some people have even mentioned it. But just from talking to friends, it seems like a lot more of them are experiencing that feeling of, "Ooh, I just need to get away." And it's not that uncommon. One of the how that conversation usually starts though is someone will ask me, "Oh, where are you?" And I'll say something like, "Oh, I'm in Georgia," or "I'm in um what was that? Like Titusville or wherever I happen to be driving that at that time." I'll tell them I'm in that place, and they say, "What are you doing there?" I'm like, running away. And you could hear that pause, how someone pauses to double check to make sure that they heard what they think they heard. And they'll ask, like, "You said what now?" Like, "Oh, I said I'm running away." And then the another pause, and then they'll get to the eventually it gets to that, "Oh, take me with you next time," where people just admit or just share that they've had the thought as well. But it's pretty cool to know that at least I'm not the only person who's thinking that, hey, I need a break from being an adult right now. Um, One question that someone did ask that was made me think quite a bit was, what was it that made me want to run away? And after thinking about it a little bit, one of the things that I came up with, or one of the things that I realized, is that I have missed my birthday trips for a little bit. Yeah, I've been missing my birthday trips. My birthday trips are kind of an organizational fun trip where it's just it's a me trip. One of my favorite trips that I did was when I did the Southeast road trip, where I drove from Florida, stopped in Georgia. Actually, I stopped in Florida, stopped in Georgia, South Carolina, and all the way up to North Carolina. And on the way back down, I think I only stopped in Georgia at that time. So it's always um, I've done a couple other ones, but this is one of my favorites. So every year I do one of these. It's an organizational trip. It gives me an opportunity to think through things, just figure out what I'm happy with, what I would like to change, make plans, just contemplate and plan life really. Just what is the direction I want to take over the next year? Am I happy with all sorts of organizational things that people think about, or at least that I think about. But over the last few years, I haven't really had those trips. In 2019, when around my birthday, I had some stuff going on where I just didn't feel that the timing what made sense for taking that trip at that time. So I made, I guess, what could be considered a conscious decision to not go that year, planning on next year going on a bigger, better trip. Well, I did plan a bigger, better trip for the following year. In 2020, I was supposed to be on a almost pretty much nationwide road trip, and I was excited. I had in my plans, I had my calendars, I had my agendas and whatnot, and I was at the point of getting the RV, not the RV, but the trailer. I wanted a travel trailer, so I was ready to get the trailer, and I found the trailer that I wanted. And as I was getting ready, just before I got it, the person mentioned that there was another one coming in that was slightly smaller than the one I wanted. And I wanted to take a look at that because I always prefer smaller when it comes to vehicles. So while I was waiting for the smaller trailer to come was when the bottom kind of fell with the whole pandemic. That was when things really hit. And it was fortunate that I had not yet purchased, I was ready to commit to the original trailer, but it was fortunate that I hadn't done that yet, because then I would have been stuck with a whole year of figuring out how to store, care for, and all that stuff with a trailer that I wasn't even going to be using anytime soon. So it was a good thing that I didn't get it at that time, but it also meant that I missed my 2020 trip. That was my second one in a row. In 2021, I decided, yes, I'm gonna go and do something. So I live on the east coast of Florida. So I drove to the west coast of Florida to Cape Coral. And it was cool. It was a nice trip. It gave me some time. The opportunity was there, but we were still in the middle of the pandemic. And I wasn't comfortable sitting inside restaurants. I wasn't comfortable doing a lot of the activities that I could have done. And for me, the trip is not just introspective. It's a lot of the fun, that relaxation, that moment of being in the moments that that allows me to have that mental freedom, that mental space to do all that processing, all that thinking, all that planning, all that whatever it is that I do during my birthday trips that have me come back so relaxed and rejuvenated and ready to take on the next year of my life and just excited about the trip. So although it was a good trip, it did not, just the environment and the setting and the fact that we were still in the middle of the pandemic and I wasn't comfortable just made it not as great as it could have been. And definitely, I don't think it met its purpose that year, although it was a good trip. So for me, I think that may be why I finally hit that space of I need to get away. I need to get out of here because it almost felt like there wasn't enough air in Florida and I just needed to get away. So that's, if I was guessing, I'm sure that contributed to it, not having had that. Because although I've had opportunities, it hasn't been the same. It wasn't the way I normally do it. It wasn't the way it usually works. So that was a thought of what the answer would be as far as what prompted me or what got me to the point of needing to get out of needing to run away. How has day two of running away been? It was a quiet, calm, introspective type of day. I started the morning with I went down and got breakfast. And then when I came back, I slept more because I got breakfast early, so I went back to sleep. And then I woke up, I was able to do a lot of thinking and a lot of just processing certain things and just some writing and, just things like that. That introspective thing that I like to do, I was able to do a lot of that this morning. And my plan was that in the afternoon, I was going to go go to a refuge that I was looking forward to. But before I got to leave, I got a call from a friend that she needed my help with something. And it's one of those friends that you do stop and help them. And you do stop and do what they need for and you to do, especially it was time sensitive. So I did make the effort. Now, what I didn't anticipate was how long it was going to take. It took a lot longer than I planned because there was some stuff I needed to do with my computer, which I didn't figure out until much later. So after I did that, I ended up doing more stuff on the computer that I needed to get done. It wasn't anything brain power or anything intensive, but I did end up doing some stuff in the computer, which caused me to. It was by the time I finished, I got up and I kept saying I'm gonna go. It was later than I wanted to head out for the refuge, so I decided not to go to the refuge and kind of hung out a little bit and just did basic random stuff. And later in the evening, I did choose to go out. Right now I am in Richmond Hill, which is about a few minutes south of Georgia. I mean, not Georgia, south of Savannah in Georgia. So I took a drive down to Savannah. I like Savannah architecture. I like Savannah. I just like the design of Savannah. So I wanted to take a quick trip and just drive around and just see Savannah and explore Savannah for a little bit, which I did. And it was nice just to be out there and see the houses and how cute they are and all that stuff. Um, So I did that, and I also wanted food. I had in my head what I wanted to eat, but because Georgia closes at 9 o'clock now, by the time I started looking for food, it was too late to get food. Everywhere was already closed, closed or closing. So I ended up not getting the food that I was looking for, but it was okay because I did enjoy my drive in Savannah. I did enjoy seeing the city, just seeing it. So that worked out pretty well. As far as I my initial thought was that I was going to be staying here for a day and I was heading out like tonight. I would have been heading somewhere else, but because I didn't get to do the things that I was looking to do, I decided to stay one more day. That way I can just give myself an opportunity to check out some of the stuff, check out the city during the day, check out the refuge and whatever else I end up doing, while in Savannah, or at least near Savannah. And yeah, so I guess technically I have a plan, or at least a plan for tomorrow, and I'll see how that works. As far as a plan for this whole journey, nope. I'm still just another random runaway who is not quite sure where she's going or what she's doing, but I am enjoying the moment. I am enjoying yeah, enjoying being an adult runaway, if that makes any sense. So